Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Danny Sheriff, your certified fertility awareness practitioner, functional nutrition counselor, and HA recovery coach over at the HA Society. So we are a support network with coaches, community group, the whole shebang, and our whole goal is to help give you more information about amenorrhea recovery so that you can stop spinning your wheels, wasting your money on medical routes and things like that that you may not have to be taking. So today's a Q&A episode. If you guys want your own questions answered, please either email me, danny@thehasociety.com, comment on one of the videos below. I go through them to get the questions. And you can also go to Instagram at Danny Sheriff or at the HA Society. All of the links are in the show notes. And I'm going to be reading a couple of the emails that I got in today. They're sort of longer questions, so I'll probably just do two. But let's do it. The first question is from Olivia. The subject line is cervical mucus. Let's see what it says. Hi, I had a question. I'm tracking my basal body temperature still. Though it's around 98.3 from 98.1, not sure if that's really a significant difference, I'm getting cervical mucus every day. But some days it just goes away completely. Also, I'm not sure how much is normal for cervical mucus. I only see it a bit on my underwear, and it's also hard to tell what kind of consistency it is. It dries up on my underwear. Okay, is there any specific way it should look when it's all dried up? Should I be getting cervical mucus every day, or is it fine if I just skip days? Okay, good question. And then she sent a follow-up. Also, I stopped intermittent fasting. I've gained weight, stopped formal exercise. I only walk. Eating snacks when needed. No longer feel cold, faced fear foods, etc. And for context, I lost my period for 5 years and I started my recovery journey around June. I am taking beef liver capsules as well. But is it okay to have these every day? First of all, beef liver capsules every day. Yes, that's fine. As per the bottle instructions, just follow that. It should be fine. Some people want to titrate up instead of going straight to the full dose, but I mean, I'm all about it. Okay, so these are good questions, and you know, this fertility awareness and being really good at tracking your cycle is a process. So I'm probably not going to solve everything with this one answer, but I will say I do have a course on this, BAM for HAs. It's over on our store at thehasociety.com/store, and you get access to the HA Society when you buy that course. So I do recommend it for learning all of these bits and bobs, where I go into detail about the basal body temperature and cervical mucus. There's two things here. You say that your basal body temperature is between 98.1 and 98.3 pretty consistently, and it is significant because that is really high. So I would check first that your thermometer is accurate, compare it against another thermometer, because that's really high. Now there are some instances where we seem to see in practice, so I don't have this based off scientific evidence, right? 98 and above is post-ovulatory, so that would imply that you have ovulated, but you don't ovulate for months and months and years. So if you're always at 98 and you haven't had a period in the 5 years, you haven't ovulated. So your temperature is high for another reason. So if you've ruled out that your thermometer is the problem, some of the instances that we have seen, vegans and vegetarians. So if you are a vegan, specifically more so than a vegetarian, it's common for us to see people with a history of veganism with a high basal body temperature. I don't actually know why, but I don't think it's a good thing. And also, we are making some connections between people who take SSRIs, certain types of them, and elevated temperatures. So those are some possibilities there, but I would always first and foremost rule out that. And then maybe a thyroid issue, though typically with hypothyroidism, we're going to see the temperatures be really low. But perhaps there's some hyperthyroidism, which I'm less of an expert in, just so you know. So I would look at that. But then also, you're asking interesting questions about mucus. And you say something here. It dries up on my underwear. which actually is indicative to me that what you're actually seeing is vaginal salsalao. Mucus generally, unless it's only a teeny tiny bit of some kind, won't dry up. You'll see it, it's there, it's stretchy, it's gloopy. If you're always seeing it all dried up and you're never seeing it fresh and sticky and stretchy, that may be vaginal salsalao, which is actually just dead skin cells, the shedding, of the cleaning out of the cervix and the vagina, and is not cervical mucus. Cervical mucus should be pick upable, touchable, or you should be experiencing a smooth and slippery lubricative sensation when you wipe. So if you're not, and you're really just seeing dry, crumbly, it's usually like a crumbly, dry paste. It will usually be white or maybe have a yellow tinge. So I hope that helps with that question. And I feel like that answers your question. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Olivia, let me know. And then I have a question from Uma. Good morning, Danny. First off, I just want to thank you and your team for putting out such wonderful content. It means the world to me that I can turn to helpful content when I really need it, and so I can be informed about the female body. Thank you, Uma. I am a 19-year-old female college student. I lost my period in June 2020 due to under-eating and over-exercising. Soon after, I went vegetarian and moved to college. I was able to get a healthy period in November 2022. Some changes that I had made were cutting out weightlifting and eating more, about 2,300 calories. I am a short person at 4'11". I was still active in that I was riding my bike to classes, which takes 5 to 10 minutes, walking for an hour, and playing my club sports, such as lacrosse and rugby. Once I saw that I got my period for 3 months, I started to include running. I was shocked as to how much further I could actually run. I saw that my period was still healthy even after running 5 days a week and having a 20-mile week. So I signed up for a half marathon coming in October. I got an internship that takes place in Las Vegas. I'm from New York, to do research pertaining to my major for June through August 5th. Okay. I went and had the best time. However, in June, I noticed my period was only 3 days long compared to the 4 to 5 days I was previously getting. I did not get my period for the following month, July. At that time, I was learning to swim with my friends every day. I was continuing my half marathon training as well and looked forward to both my runs and my swim sessions. On the weekends, we would walk around Vegas Boulevard and went hiking on nearby trails occasionally. It is now September and I still don't have a period. I thought that once I come back home and go to school in New York, the weather change and eating more could help it come back, but now it's nearly 3 months and I'm super nervous. I'm scared to go back to having HA, and I'm doing everything in my power to eat more and train for the half marathon. I'm trying not to do additional activities. Do you have any advice on what I should do? Yeah, so this is interesting. I mean, reading it, I think you, me, and everyone listening are probably on the same page, partially because you just wrote this really well. So I think it's easy to see, and this is the joy of writing it, right? Write down your problem, journal it, send it to me, or whatever, because sometimes it will help you answer your own question, right, and get clarity. Obviously, you've continued to add, that's the theme of this email. This went well, so I added running in. That went well, so I added training for marathon in. That went well, so I added swimming in. That went well, so I also did some additional hikes and things like that. And so you see here that you've tried to resolve that by eating more and reducing your additional activities, and that sounds like a really good move. You didn't lose your period altogether. It went from 4 to 5 days to 3 days, and that's information. And we love that. We talk about that all the time. Don't panic. It's just information for you to make the next best decision. Okay. I can see in hindsight that I add. And at a certain point, for some people, you can't out-eat it. You're just doing too much, right? The body's ability to recover. At a certain point, the bucket's full, you know? And that may just be the case for you. Like, there's a lot going on. You've got internships, a social life, all of this training. You probably just need to back off of something. At the end of the day, no one needs to do a half marathon. And no one has or should have the expectation that your body knows about half marathons and is okay with the level of stress you have to put it through to get it ready for the half marathon. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think that this is a really good question. I think that you know the answer, and keep titrating down. And if your cycle if your bleed stays at 3 days, or it gets worse, goes to 2 days, you know the drill. And I also would just say, I'm not sure if you're properly tracking your menstrual cycle or if you are just tracking how many days it was and how many days you bled, but you would benefit from learning about the fertility awareness method. So like from the first question, and how I mentioned we have a course on this, like know that you need to know, are you ovulating and what's your luteal phase look like? Because these things may be being impacted too. And if you just base all this activity being appropriate on whether or not you have a period, and if it's 3 days or 4 days or 5 days, you're missing out on a lot more information that could help you balance more of what you're doing or be more confident in the direction you need to go. But yeah, where you're at right now with like chill on the additional activities, up the food, stay focused, don't let yourself get distracted. If you're going to do a half marathon, you can't be getting distracted with other activities. You know, a professional athlete is very cautious with where they are expending their energy. A professional athlete doesn't go and do extra sports for fun in their important training seasons and phases, right? So we're not special. We need to look at that and see the actual strategy and the things that we have to say no to if we're going to compete, right? Like that's just reality. So the more we push ourselves and say our body should be able to just like do all these things and keep up is like a disservice to our body. So I hope this was helpful, guys. Thanks for listening. If you guys have any more questions that you would like answered on the show, please do submit them, and I'll see you guys next week. Also, side note, I think that the HA Society membership group is going to be really helpful for a lot of you. The questions I get, a lot of you guys are suited to the group coaching, community support versus just the one-on-one coaching. One-on-one coaching is really good for people who are like, I want to get pregnant, I have a very specific goal, I'm a little bit confused, like I don't know what I'm doing, right? A lot of you know what you're doing, right? The questions I just got today, it's like, I know about my mucus, like I know about like the things that are potentially affecting my recovery, and it is really important that you just have the support to help you see through with the knowledge you already have. So I just recommend to you guys our community, our community group, the HA Society. You can just go to thehasociety.com/join. And there we have weekly, oftentimes twice a week, community calls where we meet and we all connect face to face and go through issues and questions like this. And if you have questions, you can submit them in various ways for me to answer on the show, but you can also chat live with me inside of the community. So I'm having active conversations with members in there, helping them answer their questions, looking at their charts, helping them with all of this information. So that could be a really good option for you. Okay, like and subscribe to this channel if this was helpful, and we'll see you guys next week for another ep. Bye.